All right, guys, if everybody wants to, you can start with your photos if you want. You can start with you, but I am going to broadcast so people can start jumping in. Actually, I was on mute. Hey, everybody. We're going to give folks a little bit of time to jump into the webinar before we get started. So we are going to pause for just a minute to give you guys time to get in, get settled, get your snacks, and then we'll get going in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna try to be prompt. And I'm gonna just say a quick hello and then I am likely going to disappear. Tish Kennedy. I am one of the associate deans in the undergraduate admissions office. I'm also the director of our diversity and access efforts out of our undergraduate admissions office. So I got the opportunity to read each of y'all's applications. And I just wanted to jump in here long enough to say welcome to William and Mary. We are very, very excited to have y'all here. And I know that one of the most important pieces to knowing whether or not you belong at a place is knowing who else is there and what it's really like, and kind of getting a little bit of information straight from the students, from the current students who can tell you what it's like to be a student at William & Mary. So we wanted to partner with the Center for Student Diversity to bring you guys a panel of current students who could answer all of your questions. And I was laughing with Shanae earlier today. She'll introduce herself in just a bit, and telling her that I really feel like people ask more questions and more in-depth questions when I am not here. So I'm gonna go away so you guys can get your questions really, truly answered. Of course, if you guys have any questions that are admissions specific, feel free to reach out to me. Jackie Thomas is also here. She's gonna introduce herself as well. And she can, she or I will be able to answer any of the admissions questions that you guys have, okay? So, and we're easy to find. I'm tish@wm.edu, so hit me, any emails, send me an email. We'll talk through whatever you guys need to talk through. So I am going to, you're gonna see my picture pop up for a second. I'm gonna go away and take care of some things in the background. And I'm gonna have everybody else in here to go ahead and introduce themselves as well.
Hey, Jackie, you want to get us started?
Sure. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Jackie Thomas. I'm an assistant dean in the Office of Undergraduate Admission, and didn't get a chance to read everybody's application, but did get an opportunity to read a good chunk of applications. So I'm just here in case you need any admissions questions asked. I might float away and just pop in as an attendee and try and answer some of the questions, but just here to hear the conversation and to answer and be helpful.
All right, well, my name is Shanae Owens, and I am the Associate Director for the Center for Student Diversity. And today I will be serving as your moderator. So I'll be asking a few questions as well as looking at the questions that are coming in from you all, so feel free to type in any questions that you may have. So at this time, I will invite the student panelists to introduce themselves. So if you can tell us about who you are, your year, your major, and just a little bit about your involvement at William & Mary. So Jonathan, you want to start us off?
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Newby. I am currently a sophomore at William & Mary, double majoring in American Studies and Film Media Studies. I do a lot of things on campus, more than I can count on two hands, but what I'm most proud of so far is being part of the Black Student Organization, Lambda Alliance, an undergraduate fellow of the Equality Lab, and a few other clubs.
I can go next. My name is Mayada Hassan. I'm a sophomore here at the college. I'm also involved in a ton of things, but the things that I guess spend more time doing is being an RA for a freshman hall for Yates. I'll also be a Yates RA next year, so if anyone's there, that's very exciting. I do undergraduate research with the Global Research Institute on Sudan and on Nicaragua, both developing countries. I play rugby, and I'm a part of the Gibbs Accounting Society. I'm a double major in data science and finance.
I can go next. Sorry, I don't have a picture. I still don't know how to work Zoom, but my name's Yanira Lopez Perez. I'm a sophomore at the college studying international relations and minoring in Latin American studies. I'm also an RA for a freshman dorm, but I'll be an upperclassman RA next semester. And I also participate in undergraduate research through a research group which is pretty much led through students, and it does work within a small community in the Dominican Republic. I am also part of an organization called Undaki Tribe, which is the only immigrants' right organization on campus. But next semester, we will be switching up our name, so look out for that. It will be a different name. I'm also an hermana of Hermandad de Sigma Iota Alpha Incorporada, the only Latin-based sorority on campus. And I'm also a member of the Latin American Student Union.
Hi everyone, my name is Faith. I'm currently a freshman at William & Mary. My projected major is neuroscience, but that's not definite yet. I don't have many organizations, seeing that I only had one semester on campus, but I did do some with Griffin School Partnership, volunteering at a local elementary school, and I am in an undergraduate lab for Drosophila germline stem cells.
All right, well, seems like our students are a little camera shy today, but I won't push it. So let's reminisce to time back at William & Mary when we were all back at campus. What was your favorite place on campus? What was whether it was academic, whether it was social, what was a place that you like to visit or like to be?
I can start this one. I think for me, like, I'm usually like on the older part of campus. That's where a lot of my classes are. And I was an RA in Botetourt, which I know like a lot of incoming freshmen may not know the campus, which is fine. But like pretty much it's like across campus. Like it is a 15-minute walk for me to get to like my classes to my dorm. So it was kind of difficult for me to like just kind of, oh, like I'm gonna just go back to my dorm and like take a nap. Like that wasn't really an option, but I still needed some downtime between my classes to like kind of recharge a bit. And again, like this was my second year in Botetourt, so kind of had to get a little creative with it. And I found that the CSD, the Center for Student Diversity, was like a really great place for that. It was open like till very late just because some student workers would be there late, and the couches are just so comfortable that like it was just very homey to me. And there's a big TV, like you can just log into your Netflix if you want, just like chill, like eat your lunch or like dinner there and watch TV. And it was just like a really comforting area for me to be when I couldn't like walk all the way back from my dorm because I had something else to go to in a certain amount of time. So the Center for Student Diversity was definitely like my place to be.
I absolutely second the Center for Student Diversity. I spend a lot of my time at Campus Center just to hang out, study, or have lunch. It's become sort of like a self-care routine for me almost every day to go to Campus Center, eat at Marketplace, which is one of the dining halls on campus, in my opinion, one of the best we have, and go to CSD, talk to people, get homework done, and also talk to people like Shanae who are absolutely awesome. The CSD really is a nice, safe place to be for pretty much everyone.
I seem to have two favorite places on campus. Well, maybe three. So my first is definitely CSD. It's just a all around place. I go do my work there. I can eat there. It's always somewhere there to talk to or just have a fun conversation with. And my second favorite place is the chalkboard outside of ISC. So when Williamsburg weather is giving us like a nice time, it's sunny, it's always a place where you can just see people coming in and out of the science building or just walking to class. And it's just a nice experience to have. And third is Chick-fil-A because it's always just a social place me and my friends tend to go.
I second and third and fourth, wherever we are with CSD. It is the best place on campus to just come and, yes, have a nap, but also really just walk in there and have a conversation with absolutely anyone, make a new friend, and even have some free food every now and then. But my second favorite place on campus to just kind of chill out and relax is the Sunken Gardens. When it's nice outside, it's a really, really pretty place to be. A lot of people, you'll see tons of students come bring their hammocks out or books and just lay there on the grass and read and enjoy being outside because the campus is so beautiful. So yeah, that's definitely a big place for me that I really like to be. So.
Okay. So I know this question is usually asked very often as William and Mary students, but what made you choose William and Mary? Why did you choose to attend this institution?
I guess I could talk a little bit about that. My decision to come to William Mary was partly financial because William Mary gave very good financial aid, but it really became like there's a cliche people come to William Mary because of the people. I found that to be absolutely true. When I was first starting my college search experience, I was like, William Mary seems like a good school, but I don't know that much about it. Let me just apply to see what happens. And then I got into William Mary, and I was like, oh, I should check it out some more. So I went to some admitted students events. I talked to some students, met a couple professors, and what really drew me to William Mary is how much people seem to care about each other. At other colleges, sure, people are nice to each other. They'll say, hey, hello, how are you? But at William Mary, there is a true sense of deep community. When you greet someone, it's not just generic, hi, how are you? This is someone who will strike up a conversation with you, see how you're doing, give you some help. And that is what I really wanted out of a college community. And it's the top reason why I continue to stay at William Mary.
Speaking on a more practical route, like what Jonathan said, William and Mary gave me the best financial aid out of all my options. And for me being a first generation like immigrant, I thought a lot about like what and just because like my parents' backgrounds, I was thinking a lot of like what school would look the best when I graduated, what school would provide me the most opportunities when like I attended there and like after. So that's like one of the biggest reasons why I picked William and Mary. And even now as a sophomore, I feel like I really am seeing that I'm making very valuable connections and I am really getting a lot of cool opportunities that I don't know if I would have gotten at another institution. For instance, like a lot of my research, like thinking about that, like would I be having the like honor and privilege to be working with another group of like really cool, like passionate individuals about international development? Like would that have been offered to me somewhere else? Or even like my summer internship of like thinking about like financial, like I don't know, international development, like those are like really cool things that like is what I wanted out of my time at William and Mary. And I feel like it really gave me what I wanted out of that. And going off of what Jonathan said, I feel like I was really worried about my community, again, as like a first gen like immigrant and being Latina. I was really worried about like, would I find my community of other like strong, like prideful, like Latinx people. But even though like I struggled to find that, I still found communities outside of like just being Latinx. Like I found myself getting really close to like students that were Black or Asian, like, and making me feel like welcomed in their communities, even though like we weren't the same. Like we still found so many connections outside of just like being whatever like culture we were. So even though like I didn't get like my initial like community that I was looking for, I found another community that honestly meant a lot more to me and provided me a lot more things.
What brought me to William and Mary was a conversation I had with a graduating senior who's an econ major, interested in international development. Coming into college, I kind of already had an idea of what I was interested in doing, but I didn't know how to do it, nor did I know what the tools I needed to get me to where I wanted to be in the future would be. And having this conversation over lunch, it was funny. I just was walking through Sadler. I looked like a lost freshman who had just gotten to the school, which I was, and this girl stops me and asks me like, oh, are you looking for something? And then we end up sitting down for lunch. She pays for my lunch, which I thought was super sweet. But that just goes to show like how generous students are in general. Not everyone's going to pay for your lunch, but just how nice people are in general. That drew me in, but also the conversation that we had about the opportunities that she had while an undergrad at William & Mary. She was offered opportunities to do research both on campus, off campus, and somewhere in DC, all throughout her undergraduate experience. So I feel like it's just a boatload of opportunities that you really can't get at a lot of other universities. I have so many friends who go to UVA, friends who go to Virginia Tech that are interested in doing the same kind of work that I am. But because we are such a small school, we have a really close-knit community, we're able to get those opportunities more and more and really utilize those because we are such a small school and there aren't many people wanting to do the exact same specific thing that you want to do. And even if there are, there's still so many professors that you can go to and just say, hey, I had this idea. Let's talk. Can we talk about beginning a new research project? And everyone is so open to doing that. Really, at other universities, you would walk up to professors saying, hey, I want to do research on da 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 da, and they just might like smile and giggle at you because they're so busy with what they've got going on. But William & Mary has a very, very close-knit community with both professors, students, and alumni especially. I will say our alumni are very, very helpful. Right now, as I'm searching for internships, not for the summer because the pandemic, but for next summer, I've already gotten in touch with so many alumni that are just like, oh, William & Mary student, great. I'll write you down, like I'll write your name down. And that type of connection is something that you do not get at every single school that you might apply to. I will say that William & Mary is just super great if you like having a close-knit community. And yeah, the financial aid it's unbeatable, not gonna lie.
Just to kind of piggyback on what all they said, like financial aid was a large part of why I chose William & Mary. I kind of had like a deal where I didn't want to accumulate a lot of debt trying to get a higher degree education. So yeah, that was a large reason. The second reason was once I got to visit campus during Sneak Peek, I just learned of all the opportunities, especially research opportunities that I got to have, which was one of my main focuses. So that was a large reason as to why I chose the college.
Okay. Well, I do want to acknowledge that initially Zoom was not trying to let us be great. So now you get to see the lovely faces of the students live, which I'm excited about. So as we're talking about You Belong, which is the title of this panel discussion, how did you build a sense of belonging, or have you built a sense of belonging during your time at William & Mary? And what does that look like?
Woo! So this question for me rides so deeply, because if you had met me fall semester freshman year, you would have seen me on the couch at the CSD, probably falling asleep with my dirty sweatpants, the t-shirt I wore from 2 days ago, and I just looked like a mess. You know, it took me such a long time to find my place at William and Mary and find that sense of belonging. And I went through it pretty bad first semester. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be very honest with you that it wasn't easy to try to make friends. Wasn't easy to try to break out of that shell that I had coming into college. And I'm a pretty confident person. I'm pretty social. So for me, that was very weird to feel like, oh, I'm at this place now. It should be easy to make friends. It should be easy. But everyone is just like so nervous. Everyone is going through the exact same thing that you are. And it really just took me a lot of learning and a lot of time to do that and understand that. But I will say, moving towards communities that look like mine, and I mean like look like my communities from back home, and reaching out to people of color, I swear that was like the thing that was probably my holy grail throughout my freshman year fall semester. I had people who I didn't know, who weren't necessarily my friends, that started talking to me while I was laying down in the CSD looking busted. I had friends who would come and just talk to me and ask me how I was doing, and I swear that was the brightness of my day. And eventually I realized that it took more than just sitting around and allowing things around me to be the way that they are. I took a step forward and I thought, you know what, I'm going to change something. I'm going to put on some clean clothes today. I'm going to try to reach out to somebody, have lunch with somebody I've never had lunch with. And it's a challenge to do that. It's a lot of barriers that you have to break down for yourself to realize, you know what, I have to be vulnerable. I have to just try my best to connect with others. And for me, it was the people of color on this campus that made me feel at home. So I will say that's how I began to feel like a sense of belonging, was just every day I would try to have lunch with people, and specifically people of color on campus, because I felt like I could resonate with what the things that they experience as well. So yeah.
I'm just going to jump back in there because I'm so glad that you shared that. It was so important for me to have you on this panel because I do remember your freshman year and just to see your growth. And I'm just so glad that you're here.
I'm gonna piggyback off of some of the things that Mayada said. I think for me it was really difficult because I come from like a community that's like predominantly Hispanic, and that's not what like William and Mary is, obviously. And even the populations that were like Hispanic, they did not like look like me, and they did not like resonate with my story. So it was really, really difficult for me to like try to feel like I belonged. And I think imposter syndrome really, really hit too. And I think I masked it a lot with like trying to get involved and like constantly staying busy. And I think to a certain extent that helps, but I think not dealing with that like firsthand will never like help anything. But I think what really helped me was, again, like Maya said, like you really have to like reach out to people, even though it's really hard. Like I did a program, and Jonathan did it as well, called the Plus program. And it's a week over the summer, and you meet like 40 other individuals, and it's really, really cool. And you come in with all these resources, all these people, but like I was still like really cautious about like hitting them up and being like, hey, like want to get lunch? Like even my roommate, she did Plus with me and like all that stuff, but like I'd still feel kind of weird like asking her like, hey, want to get lunch or something. Like I felt like almost a bother, but I told myself like my second semester was like, no, like I'm gonna make it an effort to like really reach out to like the people I connected with in that program, because if not, like I don't want those relationships to like just fade away, because they did mean something to me like when we joined. And I found out like a lot of people are just scared to like reach out to you because you're all just thinking the same thing, that you're gonna bother someone. But in reality, like I think nobody really cares. Like nobody's gonna mind like eating lunch with another person, especially like when it's a group of people. Like the more the merrier. And that's what I've noticed. Like when I go into the CSD, like even though like you won't be like getting lunch with like certain people, like you end up just being in a clump of people where you all just kind of like chat and like get to know each other. But I think that really helped me like kind of forcing myself to like reach out to those people I met over the summer again, and kind of going out and like trying to meet people that resonate with my story. So I've met a few individuals like at the college that like don't go there anymore, like they graduated, that like really helped me, and like I really connected with them, and like we could really bond about like, you know, being first generation and all this other stuff. So I think that's what really helped me and kind of taught me that I want to be that kind of like example, or like that kind of help for students that are coming in that may have similar stories as me.
I can say for me sort of deciding that hey, I belong and we all belong is definitely an academic journey. Because before William Mary, except for maybe one or two classes, everything usually came easy to me. And coming to William Mary, which is a top school, I came to realize that not everything is going to come to you easy. You will have struggles with your classes and stuff. And for a time, that made me feel really down. Like, do I really belong at this great university if I'm having trouble with this and that class? And it took me deciding to reach out to some of my friends, being like, hey, I'm having trouble with this class, I'm having trouble studying. What do you do to help you study? And also reaching out to staff members, professors, places like the Center for Academic Enrichment, and being able to find self-worth in myself and being able to understand that yes, everyone is going to struggle, everyone is going through things. That doesn't make you any less of a person. If anything, that makes you more human, more special. And I'm still working through that a little bit now, but I definitely feel much better about being a student at William Mary who does deserve to be here with its great community.
I think what helped me the most is kind of just embracing, as you said, just embracing being there and just learning which people around me or just finding people around me that had similar stories to me or similar problems. Like when I first got there, a large issue I did was kind of just feeling like, okay, like I'm not supposed to be here, or how did I get in? Like this is like isn't right. Like something wasn't right. But then after a while, just kind of going to classes and talking to people that sat near me and realizing I wasn't the only one lost in class, or that I wasn't the only one that had question or needed help, and then just learning or meeting people in CSD and just kind of learning other people's stories. It really shows you that everybody literally has the most, like the craziest story, just the most craziest background, and just learning everybody else's background just makes you feel as if you belong there.
Okay, so as we are talking to students who were admitted to William and Mary, and hopefully they are making a decision to join us in the fall, what advice would you give to a freshman about finding their way at William and Mary?
Some advice that I would give to finding a place at William Mary is to branch out and try new things. Like in high school, as far as my friend group was concerned, almost all the people that I was friends with, we were in the Gay Straight Alliance, so that was my friend group. But when I came to William Mary, I was like, there are so many other communities that I could join. Let's try something new. So this is when I surprisingly joined NERP Club, which is where I found a community. I joined some academic clubs, and with reaching out with all these things, it really helped me develop a sense of self and a real sense of community where I'm not just in this one particular circle. I'm with a whole bunch of diverse people that will really help me cement my place at this college. And I think that's great advice because William Mary isn't just a single thing to everyone. It's a wide, diverse place where you should really branch out and try new things whenever possible.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that. Continue to join clubs and do things that scare you. Anyone will tell you that just because college is the time to explore those like fun, quirky things that you may have thought of wanting to do and something that you may have regretted not doing a long time ago. So take this as the chance to really go out and explore and do whatever it is that you want. I play rugby. I'd never picked up a rugby ball before college. So seriously, do not be afraid to try something new. You don't know where you might excel. But also something that I really, really like to do, because I am so busy with my academic clubs and stuff, is I like to just attend all of the great events that we have on campus. So literally Lambda, SIA, CSD, all of these clubs and organizations put on the most intense, the most amazing, extravagant events. There's always free food, and I think it's the best way for someone who's super busy on the go to, maybe you aren't able to, join a club and be there for super long, but you're able to attend this event on a Friday night from 5 to 6 p.m. Awesome. It's a great way to make friends, see people you haven't seen on this campus before, and maybe even end up grabbing a meal with someone after.
Can I just say I love how Mayala keeps telling people that we have so much free food, because we really do. Like, we have a whole group chat about free food on campus. But you all have said it a lot already, but just kind of do things, even like if you don't intend to like continue it, just do it for like a semester just to like try it out and see what happens. Like, I did salsa club for like my freshman year. I don't do it anymore. I did orchestra for a semester. I don't do it anymore. Like, it's just like there's like very low commitment. Like, you could just drop after semester. It doesn't matter that much, especially when you're a freshman. Like, just have fun with it. You never know what will stick, what won't. And again, like, there's so many cool and like awesome like events that come up, especially like during certain times of the year, like that you can definitely just go and like you can meet new people through other people. And like Mayala said, like, you guys can just click. And I feel like that's like a good way of how I met a lot of people, is just by like someone else introducing me to them, and then like us just clicking. Like, one of my really good friends that I have now is one of my close friends because another close friend introduced me to her. So like, it's a really good way of like branching out and meeting people.
Just like everybody else said, I believe the best way is to just branch out and try new things. Like, a big thing for me was being scared to kind of go to that, like a meeting for a club by myself. So I would tag a friend along and we would go, and we would like it or we wouldn't, and we wouldn't go back. But it's just kind of just trying new things, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, and you really get to like learn yourself along the way.
All right, I want to open questions up to those who are participating in this Q&A portion of this discussion. So for any of our participants, do you have any questions that you want to ask our students while we have them? Or to our students, is there anything additional that you want to add that you feel you would have wanted to know as you were making decisions for college?
I'll add in something. So our classrooms are like, this is for me something really important, is that our classroom sizes are really, really small. And I mean, the biggest classes that you might have are your intro econ lectures, your intro bio lectures, but those are classes you typically take earlier freshman year, sometimes sophomore year, some junior year, but mostly those first 2 years. And then it ends up just being like 30-person classes or less, which I think is a great way for students to get to interact with both their TA, who is like a tutor for a class, for a college class, and also with your professor directly. Professors are so open to have office hours, even at times that they aren't scheduled to have open time to help students with the work, but you'll always find help, whether it's with a student who's in your class, with the professor, with the teaching assistant, or with the Tribe Tutor Zone, which was such a huge help for me freshman year as I was transitioning into doing this really, really complex college level work that I had never seen before. So just know that there are so many resources for you to be successful, and also that the Dean of Students office is there as a resource as well to you if you are struggling with your academics, even if you're struggling with like, oh, my schedule is super busy, I overbooked myself, how do I fix that? There are people to help you with that on campus. So those little things matter.
I'm gonna say something off of what Miata said about like the small classes sizes. I think having like most classes, I feel like range around like 30 people, and I think that is a good number because the professor gets to see your face. Like, you're not just like one and within like a huge pool of people, and it gives you the opportunity to really connect with your professors. Like, going to their office hours, like they'll remember you. And there's certain professors that I have a professor this semester who, whenever you answered a question at the beginning like of the semester, he wanted you to say your name along with it because he really wanted to make that effort of learning your name. And I feel like he is one of those people that truly like cares about you once he gets to know you. whenever I ask him a question, he's more than happy to like help me out. And when we started this whole pandemic situation, when I would email him with questions, he would always say like, if you need anything, like let me know. If there's an issue with another professor, let me know. Like I can like be that person to advocate for you, or like I can ask questions for you if you don't want to like deal with another professor. Like I feel like it allows you to really get those good relationships with them, which can come out with like a lot of great opportunities, like to do research with them, or for just to have someone to advocate for you when you need something.
Okay. Not to be a Debbie Downer, this question is meant to be put a smile on your face. But what do you miss most about being on campus?
You can go first, Mia.
I miss running on the trails. I miss it so much. I live in an area that's just not as pretty as those beautiful trees that we have in Lake Matoka, and it just feels like, I don't know, Williamsburg has this just like happiness feeling, especially in the springtime when it's sun is out and stuff, and it's so nice to run, and I miss that dearly. And my friends, I miss my friends so much. All of your beautiful faces.
I hate to be that person, but I miss my schedule. Like I miss the structure to my life. Like even though like I was struggling with sleep a little bit, I miss like waking up and like, getting ready and like walking to class. As Mia said, like we have some great trails that even like walking to class is like a really beautiful sight, especially like in the morning, just seeing like the sun come through the trees or something. I don't know. It does something. The Williamsburg sun is different. It's really different. But like just missing like that whole like walking to and from class, or like to and from lunch, and seeing all my friends, like grabbing lunch with my friends, definitely like those little moments where like that meant a lot to me. So I really miss that, just seeing them and like just having like a structure to my life.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I miss like having to get up and like check my calendar and kind of just plan out my day, and just get to go through the day, like walking through like from like the area. I don't know, y'all don't know campus, but it's the area where swim and ISC kind of meet, and it's my campus there. Like just getting to walk around that area and go to ISC and just smell the Starbucks and everybody is in the lobby studying. I just miss the atmosphere of being around people who kind of have the same driven ideas as me.
I'm going to add something because you just brought up something really great. I think that's another great thing about William and Mary people. For me, like I was the only person to like go to like I guess like taught like higher like school from like my high school, and coming to William and Mary and just finding so many people that were like, yeah, I want to be a doctor, like as if it was nothing, and they were just like really driven, like just determined to do it, and they just were able to balance so many things. I feel like I admired that, especially from like upperclassmen. It just showed me like, whoa, like I can really just set out my mind to what I want to be, and like that is actually like a possibility. And meeting like alum that I met up with an alum from like the Latinx like association who helped me with my resume, and she spent 2 hours with me on my resume, and just having her talk to me about like what she's going to do, and seeing someone that looks like me that went to the same institution as me, and seeing that she's pursuing the same goals that I hope to accomplish one day, like really it does something for you. And I feel like it's really good, and it's really encouraging, and it shows you that you can accomplish really anything that you set your mind to.
So Jonathan, we were just asking, what do we miss about being on campus?
What I miss most, honestly, is my D&D group. So this is composed of one of my best friends I found on campus, my former RA, and a bunch of other friends that we met in person through them. Like every weekend we would get a room in Tyler and play D&D, and then we'd have a little study hour, then go to dinner together. And it's honestly one of the things I really miss about William and Mary is because it really solidified part of my place at college. Like, wow, I have a core group of friends that I can just hang out and do cool things with. Among other things I miss are probably my classes. I have this really cool professor from my gender, sexuality, and gaming class. Her name is Dr. Elizabeth Law. She's also my major advisor for film and media studies. Love her to death. And even though we don't get to like play games anymore and don't get to see her in person, it's nice that she still does the effort she can to still meet virtually and help me through even early applications for grad school, work for a major, or what have you.
Okay, so we got a question in from one of the participants, and the question is, does Greek life feel dominant on campus?
I want to say no, and it's because I feel like everyone kind of finds their own niche when you're on campus. So like if you are in Greek life, it may feel very dominant, or if you're part of any sorority or fraternity, it may feel dominant, and it may feel like all of your friends are in the same or sororities, or all of your friends are in these fraternities. But the campus is so small and close knit that like even if you are a part of Greek life, you still have friends from so many other different areas. So I feel like it really is not like one to pick like, oh yeah, Greek life might be dominant over athletes or whatever it may be, you know. I think there's like a very good balance between the entire college campus where like everything is dominant, you know what I mean? And everything is for everybody. I don't feel like things are very selective in terms of like even just like people aren't very cliquey. You have friends from all different types of groups and organizations, friends from your classes, friends from a tutor that you may have met, a TA that you know, friends from groups and from seminars that you attended. So it's very, very like fluid, I would say.
Yeah, my freshman year, I found that like a lot of my hallmates were like rushing, and but I didn't feel like kind of pressured or anything to like join a sorority or any sorts. And I feel like for a lot of people, it's just kind of like an addition, just like another thing you do, just like another community that you may have on campus. Like Mia said, like you can be a part of so many different things. Like one doesn't necessarily dominate the other, given I am in a sorority, but like I don't feel like it is my main priority. It doesn't feel like my only one. It's definitely something that means a lot to me, and I think has created a great sense of community for me on that campus. And I think a big part of it is the fact that it is a Latina based one, but at the same time, like I don't think those sisters that I have in the organization come above like the friends I might made through other things. Like it just really does feel like an addition to my life at William and Mary, and just something else that kind of brings me joy.
I
After
can
that,
second and third that, sorry, that Greek life isn't that dominant. As someone who has rushed to couple fraternities and was like, it's not really for me, I can say that there isn't a lot of pressure to join Greek life. If it's for you, it's for you. If not, it's really no pressure. And you can still be friends with people in Greek life. One of my best friends who I was rooming with it last semester is in DG. And even though you might not be in Greek life or have any interest in it, they're still great people. Don't hold to all the stereotypes that you might have of Greek people. They really are friendly like everyone else.
one thing I wanted to add is that, especially at William and Mary, the fraternities and sororities, they partner with a lot of other organizations on campus as well. So it's not that within fraternity and sorority life, they only hang out with each other and they only work with each other. No, the campus, they spread out and they definitely collaborate a lot within different organizations. So we have any other questions from our participants?
I feel like I'm just going to chime in on something that a lot of freshmen tend to ask about, and it's campus food, because food is such an important, essential thing for all of us to be living. So I will say there are options for anybody and everybody. The options may not be, 5-star, but I would say like our campus food, you will get the nutrients that you need. You will get, go ahead, Shanae. You will get the nutrients that you need. You get your vitamin C, your vitamin D. But honestly, I carry hot sauce with me all the time. So like, do what you got to do to make it right. But we have Chick-fil-A, we have Cozy, we have what is it, Domino's, that delivers using your campus flex money. That's pretty nice to be able to just like call them. They'll deliver to your dorm. You step outside and get it. So yeah, campus food it's yeah. I don't know what else to say. It's
I kind of
decent.
have
It's okay.
I kind of have to go hard for Flex because it really is just a great thing to use. You get some of it with your meal plan depending on your meal plan. And it's nice not being able to have to spend real money on Chick-fil-A or Domino's, what have you. It's a really good way to spoil yourself on a weekend, or in the case Chick-fil-A, almost every day.
Can you explain what flex is, please?
Oh, so Flex is the nickname for dining dollars. I have a Block 175 meal plan, so I get 175 meals per semester, and along with that comes 425 dining dollars or Flex, which you can use at the convenience stores on campus, or what, like I said, Chick-fil-A, Domino's, Qdoba, or what have you. And they renew every semester, and I believe they do carry over between semesters.
For any possible vegetarians out here in the crowd, Marketplace, those veggie burgers, they will save you. I recommend them. They're wonderful. Caprese without chicken, another great option. Sadler sometimes has good options, but very, very hit or miss. What's the other one? Commons, Calf, I forget what the name is since we've been gone for so long. They have great omelets. Vegetarian options are a bit better there than Sadler. But yeah, I think those dining dollars will definitely help. A good vegetarian quesadilla from Qdoba can hold you over for quite a time.
Also, this is like an insider secret for you guys who are on this panel right now, anyone who's watching it. Every Thursday night from 9 to midnight, Sadler serves wing night for a bunch of students, for all students to come and have wings. And wing night is definitely one of those times where you get to meet a lot of people and hang out. You will see that the entire dining hall is pretty much filled up with students trying to get their wings in the middle of the night. It's such a great way to just come and hang out and see people. Even if you don't have anyone to go with, you'll come there and I'm sure you'll find someone that you know, and have a good time. Wing nights, like there have been nights where we've been there for way too long and had assignments due and probably past due, but that's okay because we eventually finish up our things, because at William & Mary, I swear to you, most, and like I would say all, but I think most students are work hard, play very, very hard. So we have a very, very, I would say a lot of students have a good balance with like their academics and their social life. You have to figure it out. I will say it's not easy. It's not something that you jump into freshman fall semester and you're like, wow, look at me. I can join 6 clubs and do this, that, and the rest on the side. I would not say that that's something that most students can do. So if you are a freshman coming into next semester, definitely join clubs and join organizations, but take it easy. Try maybe like 1, 2, and then see where you feel, like see how you feel it out, but take some time to just give yourself a break. You don't want to get too overwhelmed too early on.
I definitely have to talk about this part. Yeah, I feel like even after your freshman year, be careful of joining too much, because I still fall under that whole, Shanae definitely saw me struggling last semester, but we made it out alive. We balanced pretty well. As an RA, like especially a freshman RA, that takes up a lot of time, and me, I can like definitely like vouch for that. and being a part of other organizations, like it can be a lot. And on top of that, you have academics, which should always come first, but definitely put yourself first at the end of the day. That's like the biggest thing I've learned throughout being a part of like all the organizations I do. Like, even though I love all of them and they're all things that I am super passionate about and that mean so much to me, at the end of the day, I always have to remember, like, I come first. Like, if I'm not my healthiest self, if I'm not my happiest self, then I can't give my all to my academics and my organizations, and I can't be the person that those things need me to be to succeed. So always put yourself first and make sure, like, even as Mia said, even if it's past due, like sometimes getting those 8 hours of sleep after you haven't slept a couple nights is more important than doing that reading. Because I definitely found myself even this semester doing that. Like, yeah, I got my reading quiz may not be looking too cute the next day, but hey, I feel well rested. And I think that's definitely something that a lot of William and Mary people will try to like kind of argue, like try to fight against with whether or not they want to sleep or like do academics, but always sleep first, take care of yourself first, because at the end of the day, you can only roll on that train for a while until like you really burn out. So put yourself first, take care of yourself, because otherwise then it's not going to work out.
So I'm just going to mention some things, but as I am talking, I'm just going to mention some of my student panelists, and I'll give you a time to give some final thoughts after I give my little commercial break. But if for those participants, if you have any questions after this, the admissions has an email address, which is diversity@wm.edu. So if you have any questions, that email address is actually managed by students. So students will respond to those questions. So any diversity related questions that you may have about student experiences and belonging and what life is like at William & Mary, feel free to email those questions into that email address. So that's diversity@wm.edu. Also, if you want to look back at this discussion, or if you know of a friend who wasn't able to chime in today but want to look at this later, this will be available on the admissions website later on. And my final question to my lovely panelists, not even a question, what are some final thoughts that you want to leave with these lovely students who are considering William & Mary?
For me, I know we said it earlier in the panel, but I really, really do have to stress take risks. Like, you may look at something and be like, I can't do this. This is way too hard, but you never know unless you try. There's that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. When I was coming into William & Mary, I saw this great program called the Sharp Community Scholars, where you can do community research. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do research. This seems hard. I'm not a scientist. But I was like, you know what? It's college. Let me take a leap of faith. And I got into Sharp, and it was a great experience for me. So from my spirit to yours, I really have to say, even if it's something that you don't think you'd be interested in or good in, just try and see what happens. The worst that happens is you fail, but failing is really a part of life.
I would to kind of pick back off that a little bit. I would just say branch out, go to try different clubs, try salsa club, try as many different things as you possibly can. Visit any and everywhere on campus, find out your resources, go to the CSD, visit the lobby at ISC, visit Tyler, Sadler, just kind of find your way around and explore a little bit.
I just want to say for students who are still kind of deciding on whether or not they want to go to William & Mary or any other university, and I give this advice to anyone who's an incoming freshman to college, go where your heart takes you. Seriously, just like stop for a moment, break down all the barriers, take out what your parents think, take out what your aunt, your uncle, this, that, and the rest. Because I know there are so many factors into going into like picking a college and making sure that that experience is the right one for you is so much more important than what it is for your parents. Because honestly, like, you might pick a school for the name or its ranking or whatever it may be, but you don't want to end up feeling lost in a place that you just know is not right for you. So if you feel like William and Mary is right for you, this close-knit community that we have, you eventually find your place, in a place where it might feel really, really scary. But there are so many people on this campus that will help you get to where you feel like you need to be. But seriously, when you're making this decision, just like talk to yourself, talk to your heart, write down your pros and cons, and don't let anybody else factor into that decision, because this is yours, and this is truly the first time that you, I feel like, get to make that decision for yourself. And this decision is about your future and investing in yourself. So really just take time to talk to your heart.
You all said such beautiful things. I think trying to just like accumulate all that into one, definitely what Mayada said, like, and Jonathan, like, take risks. I feel like even trying to like pick an like institution aside from like the input of your family and everything like that is definitely a big risk, like, because you're going against what, you know, those around you that love you are saying, and you're just picking something for yourself. But I think that's the first step. Like, this life is for you. Like, you need to pick an institution that feels right for you. And for some reason, like, I felt something drew me to this institution. And, you know, at times I wondered why. I couldn't remember why I picked the place. But I will say that this institution, above all, like, aside from the name, aside from the research, aside from everything else, like, this school, if there's something that I will say does right, is its people. This school has given me friends that will truly be friends forever, mentors that I really don't think I would be where I am right now at this institution if it weren't for them. So I can really vouch for this institution for that, because some of the people that you meet at this school will really just amaze you and blow you away. And take those risks, even if the first risk is just saying yes to here.
Well, I want to be respectful of everyone's time, so I want to say thank you to my panelists for saying yes to me when I asked. I want to say thank you for all the participants who chimed on today. And I want to offer myself. So my information is on the website. Again, my name is Shanae Owens, and I work for the Center for Student Diversity. So if you have any additional questions, if you just need to talk further about William and Mary, if you want to be connected with a student that may be able to answer your question, or a student group, please feel free to reach out. You can email me, we can set up a Zoom call, we can just, you know, make sure that you're supported as you're making this decision about William and Mary. So thank you for joining today.
I was just going to chime in. I am going to send my Facebook name down here, and Instagram. If anyone wants to be friends or have some friends before you get to school, or just someone to chat with, ask questions to, please, please, please. I love meeting new people. So yeah, I'll drop that information in the chat.
I will do that also.
Me too.
Well, that was fun.
Definitely different.
But different in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite, Shanae.
Yeah.
Always. Thank you for saying yes.
Of course.